Okay, could you put the learn objective down, please? Short dated learn objective, and pause the video while you're doing that, and then press play when you've done that. Right, okay, so adding and subtracting fractions with different denominators. Okay, so with today's lessons really important. Now, what I've done, we've got 12 questions to do as we go through the lesson. Okay, I'll do 3 of those. Sorry, but I'll do 4 of those. So if you can do all the other 8, I can assure you, you'll be really well. You'll be in a really good position when we're back to school and understanding these. So please, big effort on this today. Okay, so let's just go back to what actually fractions are. Okay, so we probably should spend a little bit more time on this yesterday. So remember, a fraction is a number which is less than a whole number. Okay, so this is imagine this is a whole pizza. Okay. It's split into thirds. Okay, so the way it's split is our bottom number, our denominator. Okay, our denominator, the bottom number is the denominator, and then however many of those we eat. So if we eat just that one, okay, the one slice there, we've eaten 1 out of 3, haven't we? 1 out of 3. So that's 1 slice out of 3. And they're equal sizes. Okay, I've drawn these, they're not equal sizes because I've drawn them myself, but they must be equal sizes. So again here, for this pizza has been split into 1, 2, 3, 4 different slices. So 4 is our denominator. That's how the whole thing is split up, and then 3 of them are shaded in, aren't they? So there's 3 out of 4, and I know you know this, okay, but it's worth going over. So remember, this is a whole. This is the whole thing, and it's split into 5, and 1 of them is shaded, and this is also split into 5, and 2 of them are shaded. So these are fifths, aren't they? Thirds, quarters, or fourths, and fifths. Okay. Now, when we add these up, to add up 1/3 and 3/4 is quite tricky. We will be learning how to do that today. Okay, but it is quite tricky because they split into different amounts. Okay, in other words, the denominators are the same. Now this question down here, 1/5 plus 2/5, is really easy because they are split into the same amount. Okay, into the same amount. The denominators are the same, and this is the key when adding or subtracting fractions, is this denominator being the same. So 1/5, if I ate 1/5 of pizza, okay, and then I ate another 2/5 of pizza, in total I've eaten 3/5 of pizza. But I can't do this here. I can't do what I've eaten 1/3 and 3/4. I can't make that 4/7 by adding along. It is wrong, okay? But the key is the same bottom number, the denominators being the same. It's so easy to do them when we've done that, okay? Right, so let's give some examples first of all. So if I've got, let's show how easy that is. 2/7 plus 3/7, okay? Because those denominators are the same, it's nice and easy. My denominator remains the same, and the answer is 5/7, okay? And then the same with if I've got 7/10 and I subtract 2/10, okay? Then again, because the denominator is the same, the answer is going to be in tenths. I had 7/10 of pizza left. I ate 2 of those slices, 2/10, 2 of those slices, and then I'm left with 5/10. And remember, okay, when we're left with something like that, can we simplify? Yes, we can. The top number is half of the bottom. It's a half, okay? So look to simplify at the end, okay? And let's just one more. So say we've got 7/8 of a pizza, okay? And, or 7/8 plus 3/8, okay? So we've got 2 pizzas, okay? You buy 2 pizzas, one of them you eat 7/8 of it, you just leave 1 slice for somebody else, then you eat the 3/8 of the other one, you've been very greedy, and that makes 10/8, doesn't it? Now, can you remember what we call that sort of fraction? where the top number is bigger than the bottom number, the numerator is bigger than the denominator. It's called a, everybody, yes, well done, it's called an improper fraction. Okay, so we're going to turn that into a mixed number. How many 8s are in 10? 1, remainder 2, and we carry that 2 up high, don't we? So it becomes 2 8s, and actually we can simplify 2 8s to 1 1/4. Okay, so look in the end to try and do that simplifying which we looked at yesterday. Okay, and turn in improper fractions. Now, so let's go to let's have a little look. So say for example we have got 1/4 plus 3 8ths. Now we can't just do this straight off because these denominators are different. Okay, now yesterday when we looked at stuff we were looking at equivalent fractions. Now we said how do we find out which is the biggest, and it's the same rule as that really, because we have to put the denominators into the same. Okay, we have to make those denominators the same. And how do we do that? Well, I'm just about to show you. So I look for my smallest denominator, okay, and I ask myself, does it go into the bigger denominator? Does 4 go into 8? Okay, so if I did my 4 times table, would I get 8? 4, 8, of course I would. So now I know that 4 goes into 8. I'm just going to turn my 1/4 into 8ths. Now I'm going to do this to the side, okay, because underneath I want to put the next part. So to the side, I'm going to do 1/4 equals how many 8ths? Okay, so I leave that top bit blank because I'm going to turn it into 8ths. And then how am I getting from the 4 to the 8? I'm timesing by 2. Whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top, times it by 2. So 1/4 is the same as 4 8ths. If I had 1/4 of pizza or 2 8ths of pizza, it's the same amount. Okay, you have 2 slices and they're smaller slices or 1 bigger slice. Okay, so underneath, this is now 2 8ths plus 3 8ths. Now it's so easy. Now I've put them into the same denominator. Okay, it's 5 8ths. Okay, and this is how I want you to set them up when you're doing them. Work downwards, please, and just do your workings on the side there. Okay, let's have a look at another one. Okay, so let's look at 2/3. Let's do a subtraction. 2/3 minus, let's go with 5/12. Okay, 2/3 minus 5/12. So again, first thing I ask myself, I can see straight away the denominators are different. Okay, the bottom numbers are different. And then I ask myself, will that 3 go into the 12? Will the 3 go into the 12? Yes, it will. Yes, it will. The 3 will go into the 12. So I work out 2/3. I'm going to turn it into an equivalent fraction. 2/3 is how many 12ths? How many times does 3 go into 12? Times it by 4. Okay, so I'm doing, yeah, how many? So I do whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. 2 times 4 is 8. 8/12. So this 2/3 is equal to 8/12. It's an equivalent fraction. That means it's the same. If I have 2/3 of a pizza or 8/12 of a pizza, I'm eating the same amount. It is the same value. So underneath I put my 8/12 minus 5/12, and now it is so easy. Okay, 8/12 take away 5/12. The answer is going to be in 12ths. Okay, so imagine I had 8/12 of pizza. I ate 5/12. How many pizzas left? 3/12. 8 take away 5 is 3. 3/12. Okay, so that is the method on how we do these. So I'm going to do the first one for you. Okay, and you need to copy it down with me. Okay, and then you can do the other 2 yourselves. Please be doing this. Don't be thinking, right, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just leave it now. Then Mr. Payne show me the answers and write them in. Don't do that, please, because that's how, you're not going to learn that way. Okay, so write down the question. Do that quick. Okay, if you need to pause the video, pause the video. Right, now ask yourself, what's the first thing you ask yourself? Okay. These are different, but does the smaller number go into the bigger number? Yes. So that means on the side here, write 1/5 equals how many tenths? Okay, do that on the side. Okay. How about I get from there to there? I'm timesing by 2. I do the same to the top, timesing by 2. Okay, 2 tenths. So I've got 2 tenths plus, and that stays the same, 3 tenths will equal 5 tenths. 5 tenths, I think we've done this one before, haven't we? Is the same as a half as well, and I'm simplifying that to a half. Can you please, using exactly this method, okay, do the next 2 questions, please. Question 2, question 3, pause the video while you're doing them. Okay, off you go. Press play when you're done. Right, let's have a little look. So I'm going to go over them quite quickly. They are different denominators, but I can see 3 does go into 9. So I'm just going to wipe this off here. Oh, up on the side here, I'm going to do, well, 1/3 is equal to how many ninths? So how am I getting from there to there? I'm timesing by 3. So I do the same to the top. So 1/3 is equal to 3 ninths. So I'm just going to write 3 ninths, take away 2 ninths equals 1 ninth. Okay, well done on that. Okay, good. So let's have a look at the next one. Okay, again, I got 3/4 plus 7/12. 3/4, I can see the denominators are the same. Will the smaller denominator go into the bigger denominator? Yes, it will. So I know, I'm going to do it on the side here, 3/4 equals how many 12ths? So how am I getting from the 3 to the 12? From the 4 to the 12. 4, 8, 12. I'm timesing by 3. I do the same to the top, times by 3. I've got 9/12. Okay, so now we've got 9/12 plus 7/12. So I know my answer is going to be in 12ths, and that is 16/12. Okay, now, okay, let me just move that a little bit closer there. 16/12. Now, what am I left with? I'm left with an improper fraction. I don't want that. I want to turn that into a mixed number. How many 12s are in 16? 1 remainder 4 and 4/12. And I can even do that 4/12 into 1/3. Okay, how many? Yeah, and so that becomes from 1/3. Okay, but if you're getting to this point here, that's brilliant. Okay, if I haven't done that last, but don't worry too much about it. We'll do that with practice. If you get into that 16/12, you're doing brilliantly. Okay, right. So first set done. First set done. Right. Hang on. Now we're looking at, okay, now we're going to be looking at when they're both different denominators. So let's go with, let's make sure I don't use the same numbers. Hang on, sorry. So let's go with, if we have 1/4 plus let's go with 1/6. 1/4 plus 1/6. Okay, so I can see here that the numbers are different, and then I ask myself, will the smallest number go into the biggest number? And the answer in this case is no. The answer is no. 4 doesn't go into 6, does it? You go 4, 8. No, it's not. It doesn't go in. So now I'm going to have to change both of them. That means both numbers have to be changed. Both denominators have to be changed. Okay. So let's see what number both of them go into. So I find the lowest common multiple. Yes, that's the right one. So if I go 4, 8, 12, and I go 6, 12. Now 12 is an answer in both of those times tables. So I know they both go into 12. 4, 8, 12, 6, 12. So 12, they both go into 12. So I'm going to put them equivalent fractions of 12ths. Okay. Now, and I'm going to do that on the side. 1/4 equals how many twelfths? So how am I getting from there to there? I'm timesing by 3. So I have to do the same to the stop, timesing by 3. Okay, so that's 3/12. And now I have to find what 1/6 is. 1/6. Okay, how many twelfths is that? So it's times 2 times 2, 2/12. So it becomes, I've turned them both into twelfths, because when they are in the same denominator, they're easy. Okay, so that's 5/12. Okay, 5/12. Right, let's do one more before you have a go yourself. Okay, one more before you have a go yourself. Let's go with, yeah, that'll be okay. Let's go with 1/2 minus 1/3. So we'll do a taking away this time. 1/2 minus 1/3. Does the smallest number go into the biggest? Does the smallest denominator go into the biggest? No, it doesn't. So what do both numbers go into? 2, 4, 6, 3, 6. Now one little trick here is very often you can times them together. Okay, and it's a 6. So both of the 2 goes into, let's do that. So I've got my 2, 4, 6, 3, 6. So they both go into 6, don't they? Okay, 6 is the lowest common multiple. Right, so 1/2 equals how many sixths? That's 3 sixths. 1/3 equals how many sixths? 2 sixths. So it becomes 3 sixths minus 2 sixths equals 1 sixth, and 1 sixth is our answer. Okay, 1 sixth is our answer. Right, let's have a look at these. Okay, I will set up the first one for you, and then you do the other 2 as I've done them. Okay, so I can see a 1/3 and 1/4. 3 does not go into 4. Okay, so what am I going to put them in? Well, 3 times 4 is 12, so I'm going to put them into twelfths. Okay, that's a little trick there. So 1/3 is how many twelfths? I'm timesing by 4. Same on the top, times by 4. So we go 4/12 plus, and then I'm going to do my 1/4. 1/4 is how many twelfths? Times by 3 times by 3, 3/12. Add 3/12 is 7/12. So that is how you set these up. Okay, you make sure all of these, both of them have to change. Okay, both of them have to change, and you do your little workings out on the side on what these, how you work out these equivalent fractions. Okay, off you do. Off you go. 5 and 6, please. Questions 5 and 6. Go, go, go. Pause the video. Press play when you're done. Right, let's have a little look. I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. I can see that they're tenths. 5 times 2 is 10, so I'm going to put them into tenths. So this is 6/10. 1/2 is 5/10. So we should have 1/10 as our answer. I can see here 3 times 5 is 15. Okay, 15. So I'm going to put those into 15ths. Okay. Okay, so let's put them into 15ths. Is my equivalent fraction this time. Yeah, because I'm seeing 3 times 5 is 15. 2/3 is how many 15ths? Okay, times by 5, times by 5, 10 15ths. Then 3/5 is going to be 9 15ths. Okay, so I end up with 19 15ths. That is an improper fraction. An improper fraction. So what I would, how many 15ths are in? 19, 1, remainder 4, 1 and 4 15ths. Well done if you got that. Okay, well done if you got that. So let's move on quickly. Let's move on quickly. Right. Now we're going to use mixed, starting with mixed numbers. Have a think. What is a mixed number? Okay, we know what an improper fraction is when the numerator is bigger than the denominator, the top number is bigger than the bottom. What is a mixed number? It's just where you've got a whole number, So you can have something like 1 1/3 plus 2 3/4. Okay. Now these are very similar to the last questions we did, but all I'm going to do, I'm going to add up the whole numbers first. So 1 and 2 is 3. And now, once I've added those up, I'm basically going to ignore them because that's there. And I'm going to do 1/3 plus 3/4. Okay, I can see 3 doesn't go into 4. So I'm going to have to change them both. So 3 times 4 is 12. So I'm going to change them both into 12ths. Okay. And I'm going to do that. 1/3 equals how many 12ths? Times by 4. So it's 4 12ths. Okay. 3/4 is how many 12ths? Times it by 3, so it's 9 12ths. So I'm going to add those up. Okay. So I've already done the whole numbers. 1 and 2 is 3. Okay. So I'm going to add this up and it comes to 13 12ths. So I'm just going to put that there. So 3 and 13 12ths. But 13 12ths is an improper fraction, isn't it? Okay. So why don't I turn that into, I'm going to turn the 13 12ths into 1. How many 12s in 13? 1 and 1 12th. Okay, 1 and 1 12th. So I'm going to add that on. So we've got 3 and 1 is 4 and a 12th. 4 and 1 12th is my answer. Okay, because I add the 3 plus the 1 and 1 12th. Okay. So we're just doing the whole numbers first. I'm rushing through this one a little, but let's have a look at this one here, and then you can do the next two, because we've still got the trickiest one to come. Okay. Right, so let's have a look. 1 and 3 tenths plus 1/6. All I'm going to do, I'm going to add up the whole numbers first. 1 and 2 is 3. Then I'm going to do 3 tenths, add 1/6. Okay, so what? Now this one, I'm going to, I could do 10 times 6 is 60, but I also know that they both go into 30. 10, 10, 20, 30, and then 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. So they both go into 30. So I'm going to turn them into 30ths. So I'm going to just cross those out because I've dealt with them now because I've got 3. Added them together. So I'm going to do 3 tenths equals how many 30ths? Well, I'm timesing by 3, so it's 9 30ths. And then, okay, just give myself some space there, just rub that out. I'm going to 1/6 is how many 30ths? So how many getting from the 6 to the 30? I'm timesing by 5, timesing by 5, 5 30ths. So I know we're going to go through a lot today, okay, but I'd like us to just really give this a go. So yeah, so 9 30ths and 5 30ths is 14 30ths. So I just bring that because that's what I'm adding as well. I'm going to bring it to my answer. 3 and 14 30ths. Can I simplify 14 30ths? I can, because they're both even numbers. They're both multiples of 2, aren't they? Okay, so that becomes 3 and 7 15ths. Okay, have a go, please. Question 8 and question 9. Pause the video while you do that. Pause the video while you do that. Press play when you're done. Right, okay, so remember, I'm going to turn these into 6. First of all, I'm going to add the whole numbers up, gives me 6. Okay, then I'm going to do that into 6. So this is going to be 3/6 plus, and that's going to be 4/6. Okay, and that gives me 7/6. Now 7/6 exact is in fact 1 and 1/6, isn't it? Okay, because it's an improper fraction. How many 6 and 7? 1 remainder 1. So I'm just going to add that on here. Plus 1 and 1/6 equals, my answer is 7 and 1/6. I'll be really delighted as well if we got 6 and 7/6. That's fine as well. Okay. So one of those, either 7 and 1/6 or 6 and 7/6. Okay, well done. So I'm going to look at this last one. Right, so 2 1/5, 1 3/7. So again, 2 plus 1 is 3. And then we've got 1/5 plus 3/7. Okay, and now I can see, yes, 5 doesn't go into 7. 7 5 is 35. I'm going to put these into 35ths. 1/5 equals how many 35ths? Times by 7. 7 35ths. Now it does seem quite sort of big numbers, some of these, but you can do them. Okay, then I've got 3/7 equals how many 35ths? Again, I'm timesing by 5, times by 5, 15 35ths. 15 35ths. So to add those together, 7 35ths and 15 35ths, 22 35ths. So we've got 3 and 22 35ths. Okay, brilliant if you've got those right. If you're getting there, brilliant too. Okay, as long as you're giving them a go, because every time you have a go at these, okay, even if you get them wrong, you are actually getting far closer to getting them right. Okay, I know that doesn't always feel like that, but every time you try, and even if you don't know how, even if you get them wrong and you're making a mistake, actually it means you're getting closer to be able to do them. Now the last one, the last part, okay, and these are the hardest ones as well. I've left the last, that's very kind of me. Okay, so now we're going to do taking away, and we're jumping really quickly today because I want us to try and have a go at these, and then we'll come back to them. Okay, so we've got let's go with let's go with 2.5 plus, sorry, minus, just check if we got that. Oh yeah, I have. Hang on. 2 1/3 minus 1.5. Now, what we can't do, these are different to the last ones. We can't do 2 take away 1 here. Okay, these ones we have to put these into an improper fraction first, into an improper fraction. So that means the bottom number, the denominator, times the whole number, add the top number. 3 times 2 is 6 and 1 is 7. So this becomes 7/3. Okay, and we're going to take away 7/3 from 2 times 1 is 2 times 1 is 1 and 1 is sorry, 2 times 1 is 2 and 1 is 3. 3/2. So this is what we're left with. We have to put these one into an improper fraction. Okay, now of course, but now they're different denominators, aren't they? Because they're different denominators, we have to put them in the same denominator, the common denominator, and that makes it easy for us. We know that if we times them together, we get 6, isn't it? We know 2 goes into 6. So we're going to put them into 6. So 7/3 equals how many 6? Okay, well, I'm timesing by 2, timesing by 2. So that's 14/6. Okay, and I'm going to take away, so that's how many 6. So I'm timesing by 3, times by 3, 9/6. So it becomes 14/6. Take away 9/6. Okay, let's just wipe that off. And that 14 take away 9 is 5. So the answer here is 5/6. Okay, 5/6. So it's all about putting them into an improper fraction first. Into an improper fraction first. Okay. Right. Let me just, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go straight onto this because otherwise this is going to be the longest video of all time. Okay. Right. So 2 1/3 minus 1 5/9. 2 1/3 minus 1 5/9. Now remember, with these, because it's a taking away and it has mixed numbers. Okay, taking away with mixed numbers. So just doing this way, we'll remind ourselves when we get back to school and when we do these again. Okay, that because they're mixed numbers and it's taken away, the first step is to put them into improper fractions. So bottom number, the denominator, times the whole number, add the numerator, add the top number. 3 times 2 is 6 and 1 is 7. So we've got 7/3, okay, minus, okay, And let me just do that a bit higher because I'm going to run out of space otherwise. 7/3 take away 1 9 is 9 and 5 14 ninths. Okay, 7/3 add 14 ninths. Okay, now of course what we've got to remember now, we have to put these into the same. From this point we're doing the same as before because we have to put them into the same denominator to make it easy after we have managed to put it into an improper fraction. So again, we can do that on the side. I can see the 3 does go into 9, so I'm just going to change these thirds to ninths. So 7/3 equals how many ninths? Times by 3 times by 3. 7 times 3 is 21. So now I've got 21/3, and I'm taking away, sorry, 21 ninths minus 14 ninths. So 21 ninths minus 14 ninths is 7 ninths is my answer. 7 ninths. Copy this one down, please. Copy this one down. Have a go at 11 and 12. Have a go at 11 and 12. I will put some extra bits on the portal if you have time. I know it's a long video, so probably won't, but some of you who may have zoomed through it really quickly might. Can you do questions 11, question 12? Give it your best effort, please. Give it your best effort. And then there's extra stuff if you want to do that. Okay, if you've got time. Right, bye.